Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So we're going to share with you some hot buzzing topics out there, along at the end with a message from our Galactic allies about the bigger situation. So all sorts of rumors abounding about the health of 47. A lot of people were even saying, did he pass on? Because there's that much question about his health and well-being that seems to be making its way through the news. And, you know, it really is very interesting to follow all this. And, of course, I always ask Cindy to feel into things, and is there anything that is real here? Because, again, most rumors are just simply rumors, but a lot of times they do have a little bit of a foundation in truth. You see this over here from the Metro UK. Oh, Donald Trump hadn't been seen in days. This is a decent sized paper. Is he dead? Rumors hit social media, and supposedly also there's not a lot on his schedule, but pictures have emerged of him golfing and being with family. And albeit people have made the note that he seems very, he is 79, very stooped over, seems kind of on the frail side, wondering, what's really going on. Of course, with Biden, we never knew which Biden we were going to get. The one that's 5'10" or the one that's 6'3". The one with the big earlobes or the one with no earlobes. I mean, again, it was kind of a totally different set of circumstances there. But I want to also mention our friend, the Polish psychic, Krzysztof Szakowski. He said quite clearly here, and this is 6 days ago, Trump's presidency is coming to an end. Well, wait a minute. It's not supposed to end for, 3.5 more years. No, he says coming to an end. His free reign as president. He also says that there's forces that want him out one way or another. They'll either try to create some huge scandal around him to force him to resign, or he even brought up the idea that he was being slow poisoned, perhaps by somebody that he trusted, maybe a staffer or something. Maybe it's in the kitchen staff. Could a kitchen staff have somebody that didn't go, through the backgrounds as thoroughly as possible? It's all possible, but then you also have to recognize that, the way this situation is, it could be somebody that would pass with flying colors. Just simply somebody that might have a leaning towards one side of the political spectrum and have alliances with entities that in many ways are more powerful than any president when you get down to it. He sees a lot of things. He sees clearly that the next 2 months, to November, he keeps seeing major events coming in November. But September and October will be historical. Same thing with November. Forget not that we have this comet or alien ship coming in. Cindy's been getting more information on that too, and we'll probably follow this up with more information on that subject, because these are monumental times. Humanity hasn't had a clue to the truth. The reality is most people still don't even have a true inkling other than something is not right, but they don't understand what Homo sapiens is facing in the bigger scheme of things. But the ending of Trump's presidency, it feels like it would fit, because again, if you don't remember, Cindy had a vision going way back to before this election, actually to the previous election, and she saw that. Who did she see leading the White House in times of true trial and tribulation? Somebody that looks like J.D. Vance, but she didn't even know J.D. Vance at that point in time. So I wanted to ask ChatGPT. This is the number one source for AI info globally. ChatGPT has far more people knocking on its door asking for answers than any other AI out there. What is the presidential line of succession today? Because Cindy did get another glimpse of somebody that could be moving up into a position of power, but it didn't fit any of these people that we're looking at here. And, so it's interesting. I mean, we did see that J.D. Vance fits the bill. And when you look to his astrology, we did an astrological write-up on him. He has a tougher natal chart than President Trump does. He's somebody that would have to overcome a lot more. He's more flawed in many ways, even than President Trump. When you're looking at the astrology of his soul taking incarnation at this time, facing a lot of challenges, it would not be an easy run with J.D. Vance at the helm. Again, these are actors. Again, it's true, the good-looking actors go to Hollywood and the other ones go to either our Congress and become, politicians, presidents even, or, it's the same thing we see over in the UK again. A little slightly different when we're talking monarchies. By the way, also, he was just getting, and this is the Polish psychic, getting impressions of some sort of almost very, very impromptu and spontaneous funeral for what he describes as a monarch. So that's curious, too, out of the blue. But J.D. Vance, then you have Mike Johnson, and then you would have Chuck Grassley, then Marco Rubio, and then Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, then Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, Doug Burgum, Brooke Rollins, Howard Lutnick, and it goes on from there. So really, it kind of hit me as like wild. People might even think, well, how about RFK Jr. stepping up? He's number 12. And who's number 16? Linda McMahon. Yeah, WWE. Oh, my God, guys. I don't know how people still can view this seriously as not being something that's orchestrated. But it's the twists and turns, and then it's also the logical things that they can bring about because of, whoever is in office. So I was asking Cindy, what do you think about this? And she did get that. It does feel like his health is not that great. If you look at his, his energy body.
There is some sort of a hard stop going on inside of his energy field. And there's, of course, two ways that this can go. It's either going to go through him and pass very quickly, or whatever it is inside of him is going to grab hold and hold on to him. So there's some legitimacy here. It does feel concerning. It does feel problematic. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it and see what happens, because that would really throw a wrench in so many different things on so many different angles. I think it would really throw things into chaos to a high degree.
But that always seems to be one of the biggest purposes out there, as much chaos as possible. It's literally, it's the motto of certain groups, order out of chaos. Meanwhile, this says Trump's in talks to deploy a private army to Ukraine. So no official U.S. troops or anything, but if contractors go, could that make everybody happy? You got to realize these wars are all about feeding the loosh machine, trying to keep souls from evolving and ascending higher, and of course making profits for all those involved in the war machine. When you look at something like this, I would also look closely at investments, because again, it's not just one side of the aisle that's made investments and gotten, huge windfalls from their investments. And of course, obviously, we could look at Nancy Pelosi on that one. But, again, who just all of a sudden invests in one way, shape, or form a substantial amount of money, energy, and resources into one of these contracting companies that ends up getting a big contract and making tons of money, which the politicians know about, and then they make windfall profits. This is how they get bribed. I mean, literally, this is an evil, demonic, satanic system that counts on humans being corruptible. And everybody that we get at the top levels, they're all corrupted. They've all been corrupted. They all have, again, things that they've gone along with in order to profit themselves and their family, to live like kings and queens and monarchs. So, yeah, absolutely. This wouldn't surprise me at all. Could this also be used as a reason why the war evolved to another point? Absolutely, because this is all part of justifying the history that they're going to write. And here you see again the National Guard. There's National Guard out there picking up trash in D.C. So again, we are so divided that people will make it look like we're living under Nazi tyranny, etc. And then there's kids talking and even playing in some cases with National Guard, being shown the interior of Humvees, maybe they're trying to recruit them. I don't know. The reality is humans would get along a lot better without all this, political shenanigans that go on, because it's completely this for-profit system. Again, they have a term for legalized bribery, which they use, and it's just a given. It's legalized bribery. And here you go. Missouri becomes the first state to repeal capital gains tax. First thing I see is, of course, punish the poor, tax and reward the rich. But I'm thinking also about how about somebody that, for instance, inherited money because their dad died or their mom died or grandma died. And now all of a sudden, they might have been working their entire life, and all of a sudden they have some money that the government's going to take from you. They're going to reap, and the government, really what we're talking about the bankers. We're talking about this class. Again, the politicians and the bankers are hand in hand. They go hand in hand, and unfortunately you could put the military into that too. They're the ones that carry out that which the bankers, through the politicians, bring about in order to perpetuate this cycle of blood money, because that's what all this is blood money. So I think repealing capital gains tax is a good thing. There shouldn't be any of these taxes. There should be no income tax. There should be no property tax. And there are some states that are repealing property taxes as we speak. This is part of the big awakening. And again, they have certain people indoctrinated to think that you're supposed to trust Big Brother. Big Brother is corrupt no matter what country you're in. Every single system, every single political system has been absolutely corrupted. As Cindy is often to say, we are the only species that has to pay to live on the planet. And yet, every species on the planet would benefit from good human stewardship. And let's not think about leadership in that sense, because with leaders, you're always looking for somebody else to come up with ideas, to do things for you. We need to take the reins back ourselves, and we need to realize we're part of something greater and treat all life on the planet as if we truly had compassion for it, because we should have compassion for it.
We really, really should. And I did get a message from the Galactics regarding this, and it's something that, it's something that goes out to all of us. It's something that we all need to work on, and we all can do, and that's why we get them, and this is why we put them out there. So a message from our galactic allies. Beloved Earthlings, we observe the currents of tension rising across your nations. At this time, certain leaders are deploying military forces to enforce order in select regions. While some see this as protection, others feel fear and division. Know that the pattern you witness, armies moving, authority asserting itself, is a reflection of a deeper imbalance within your collective consciousness. I think that's very important for us to remember. Your galactic perspective urges you to remain centered and discerning. Conflict and control may ripple outward, but your inner sovereignty and clarity are shields that cannot be removed by any external power. Focus on uniting communities through understanding, compassion, and shared intention rather than fear. The use of force may appear necessary on the surface, yet it signals a time to awaken, to question, to see beyond appearances, and to act from a higher principle of balance. Remember, dear ones, the power of choice always rests within your hearts. Choose awareness, choose unity, and let the energy of peace ripple outward to all nations. So this is kind of a call to action, and it does sound like things might get a little bit bumpy, but we're being called to stay centered, stay grounded, and act through the heart chakra, and not let whatever things they have in store for us, take us away from our primary purpose.
Absolutely. So while the storm may be raging around us, we remain a fortress of stability and a stillness in that storm, because it is going to be a trying time directly ahead as the system starts to lose real control over the minds of humanity. And we just simply are not going to accept the same situation of, again, conflict, chaos, and profits. And again, it's just so obvious to so many, but we're still here and we're still in the system, so we still need to have our voices heard so we could come up with constructive ideas for getting out of the system and creating alternatives.
You said the words conflict, chaos, and profits makes CCP.
It does, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
As always, guys, we thank you for your support. We invite you to join us on Patreon. There's exclusive there each week, sometimes multiple times each week. We do want to thank all of our new Patreons as well, because we couldn't do it without you guys. There is memberships also on YT as well. But our new Patreons are...
We want to say huge thank yous to SDZ, Elizabeth, Susan, Christopher, and Margaret. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Look forward to your comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and double check that subscription. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.